with Alabama and Texas. And I want to preface this, Clint, I'm going to start with you. I think we live in a world based on region where we can be like, oh, gritty win by Alabama over Texas, just a gritty win, or a gritty win by Ohio State over Notre Dame, or wherever you want to go. And then you can go to another region of the country and it could be like, it's an ugly win. That was an ugly win. And you can have a similar situation. I want to know what you think. Like, was Alabama gritty or was it ugly? Like, did they get the benefit of the doubt as one of the top teams in the country, or did they show a lot of flaws? And then for Texas, same deal. Like, did they just play up like we saw in Notre Dame in week 1 against Ohio State and then fall flat in the loss to Marshall in week 2? Curious where you net out on gritty versus ugly, and what was real around Bama, Texas in front of 100,000.
I mean, look, I would lean gritty just simply because it's so early in the year, Yog, and we don't know who's who, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if they have any receivers. Like, I don't know if they have any dudes at wide receiver that the quarterback Bryce Young can depend on. I don't know if they have the power run game. I know they got a little Alvin Kamara like running back in Gibbs, but so I don't really know offensively what they are, who they are. And I don't think that they're going to be able to just continue to reload like we've seen them in the past at those skill positions where 3 guys get drafted in the first round and here comes 3 more. And you know, in the transfer portal grabbing guys. So just for the sake of, I don't know who they have and who they really are in Alabama, I would say it's a gritty win, but all the penalties really put me in a spot of where I want to go ugly. I want to go that they just looked bad and got away with a win, but I'm going to say gritty simply because I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt of not knowing them real well right now.
All right, Hack, where do you net out on this?
Yeah, I think you learned a lot about that Alabama team. I don't want to reiterate what Clint said because I agree with the vast majority of it. I think they were a little undisciplined. Very undisciplined and very uncharacteristic of a Nick Saban coach football team. So I know they'll get that cleaned up. What that nets out to, you know, that's you gotta really dive into the tape and see what happens next week. But yeah, I give him the benefit of the doubt, and it mainly goes to Bryce Young. I was very surprised at that. Something that I've said over and over again is that the quarterback position is the most dependent position in football. You could have all the talent in the world, what you got around you, and the scheme you're in, and the confidence level that those coaches have in you that you can then play with. It's hugely, massively effective of how kids play. And I was really impressed with how Bryce Young answered the bell. Hearing some stuff, you know, hey, he's really not that good. He's overrated. He's used to having all these horses to throw to and this and that. He went out and won a game against a really good team that came up that's got talent in a different way. And I think it's going to be a great year for him to build that and kind of show that he is as talented as he is, because I know that's the case. So I'm more of gritty and impressed with how Bryce Young answered some adversity that he really hasn't faced.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I think that, like, when you hear like, oh, it was an ugly win, I think that's when we become like elitists in college football and we forget that, like, these kids still go to class. Like, they're still 18 to 22. Like, you guys remember when you were playing, like, every week isn't going to be perfect. Even if you are Alabama, like, it's sometimes like it's going to get hard. You're going to get other teams' best. Maybe you got in a fight with your girlfriend. Like, maybe you failed a class. Like, there's things that go on. And I think in college football, we forget that. And we just put like for this year, after week 1, it was Bama, Clemson, and everybody else. Right, when they were lighting up Ohio State, Notre Dame game, they should have rolled, they didn't. And I think sometimes we just forget that everybody's not going to be perfect. Like, you guys know, you played in the NFL, like, defensively. I've always felt the college to the NFL difference was in college, like, I take a spot drop. In the league, I take like an exacto knife. Like, I know exactly where I'm going to spot drop. And there's not going to be any room for error. Where in college, like 2 to 3 yards, a foot here, foot there, and all of a sudden the ball's behind my ear for a completion or a touchdown or explosive play. And I don't know. I just looked at that and watching Bryce in the end, when we all saw that moment, and it captured all of us of like, yep, this dude does what elite players are supposed to do. And then I look at their schedule and it's what, Louisiana Monroe, Vanderbilt, and then they get Arkansas. And then they get A&M for the battle of who can be louder around NIL. But what do you think about Bama and Georgia? Now Georgia becomes the top team in the country. Is there a separation of those two? And then Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, OU, SC, Oklahoma State, Kentucky, etc. But
Oh man, I mean, look, I think there is definitely separation. I think the question is what does that gap look like? Look, I mean, I think Georgia, based on last year, the way they finished the last 3 football games, the way that Stetson Bennett and that offense has come out guns blazing this year in a time when the defense has to rebuild, reload, restock right there. I think he's buying Kirby Smart a little bit of time to get that defense right. And I don't know if Kirby needs it or not. He may not, but that offense playing the way that they're playing has shown me that what we saw last year in the championship game wasn't just a flash in the pan. So whether it's Auburn's defense that was super dominant last year or their offense that appears to be hitting on all cylinders this year, I think when it's all said and done, they are the one team that I'm more convinced is the number one team in the country, the best team in the country. And then I think Alabama is good enough for me to say, okay, well, the Saban factor is going to put them closer to Georgia than they are whoever I have at number 3 or whoever I think that third ranked team is. So I still think it's Georgia, Alabama right now. But that's a good question, man. Yo, it's so early in the year, man, in terms of trying to put somebody in the same category with, the top team in the country. You're trying to compare those two, man. It's tough for me right now.
What's going on, guys? Rob Doster here, the founder of the Field of 68 and the Field of 12 Media Networks. I wanted to take a quick minute to let you guys know about an exciting new project that we have been working on for the last 3 months. The Almanac, an all-encompassing preview of the 2022-23 college basketball season. We spoke with every single Division I head coach to give you a robust and accurate preview for all 363 Division I college basketball teams. We have predictions for conference finishes for all 32 leagues. We have features on the best freshmen, the best big men, the breakout stars, the coaches on the hot seat, so much more. It is 600,000 words of sheer happiness for the college basketball fan in your life. The Almanac is going to be available for digital purchase on September 26th for just $19.99, but you can pre-order it today using the promo code HOOPS and save 20%. Just hit the link in the description below.